This is Francesco Abruzino with the Uncensored Report, and I'm wanting to cover a few things just about the news and this whole fake thing. And it's funny, it's ironic that major media picked it up, but now alternative media is running with it because there are so many examples of major media actually doing the fake stories. And despite Donald Trump's constant railing against the American press, there seems to be no greater enemy of the American major media than themselves, and that's because they just aren't doing their jobs. They're not doing them well. And it's creating this whole persona of fake news. And if you look at just the breadth of the epidemic, it's out there and it keeps growing at a large scale. Media continues to broadcast and spread news that is not accurate, publicize it, promote it for what is being deemed as fake news. And whenever you turn on a news station, you go to a website or you go to social media, you listen to web personalities out there, there's an excellent chance that you may be getting some garbage that is being spit out. And they went out, and some sites went out and looked at different ways that fake news has been put out by major media. And there's I don't know, there's several out there. Just to cover a few, you got the transgender suicide rates. If you remember, after Trump won back in November 8th, there was a rumor circulating that there was multiple transgender people that were killing themselves because of this election process. There was no basis for it. None of it could be confirmed. Yet you had papers like The Guardian out there 13,000 times it shared it. At Mick, they shared more than 55,000 times this story on their Facebook page. And then Snopes, everybody's always, oh, Snopes, oh, you're wrong, Snopes. Snopes, these idiots, they went out there and they've shared it 19,000 times. They said it couldn't be confirmed. It's unconfirmed rather than the fact that it was false. And they based this upon 2 Facebook posts. I've already shared, if you look at Snopes' divorce filings, it's amazing that people consider these guys the go-to source and the end all, that they are the omniscient ones out there. How about the hacking conspiracy theory? Gabriel Sherman, he posted a bombshell out there in New York Magazine claiming that a group of prominent computer scientists and election lawyers were demanding a recount in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, saying that was manipulated and hacked. There was no evidence. They just ran with that. Yet they did it because there was a 7% fewer votes in counties where Clinton went out and ran her ballot. It was shared like 145,000 times on Facebook alone. MSNBC's Joy Reid ran it. Hers was shared, it says, 4,000 times? But it was all wrong. It was inaccurate. Someone came out the next day and said, look, guys, it was a person over at 538, Nate Silver. He explained that it was all about demographics and not hacking. That explained the curious voting numbers. But at that point, the damage has already been done. Major media knew the story would get out there. You get a story that's shared just alone. If you look at the 145,000 times from the New York Magazine, that information's already out there. It's already circulating. The 27-cent foreclosure, Politico, far left-leaning rag, Lorraine Welrick, she put out a shocking essay that Trump's pick for Secretary Treasurer went out and foreclosed on a little old lady, like 70-year-old or something like that, because she would not pay, or she was over a 27-cent error in her mortgage payment. And guess what? That was false. But it was too late because that story was picked up and shared 17,000 times on Facebook alone. And as a matter of fact, his company didn't even buy up that loan. Munchen's bank that brought the suit. It wasn't even them. It was a different bank. But they never did their homework. How about inaugural balls? Nancy Sinatra. Everybody's saying that she was upset because he used Frank Sinatra's song My Way. Problem is, Nancy never said that. CNN went out and ran it and reported it. How about the non-existent climate change? I remember hearing that. Oh my God, the White House, they knocked off climate change. It's not on there anymore. It's not on the White House website. Oh my God, what's going on? They purged it. But that's not what happened. And even within the article, Davenport explained it. He acknowledged that what he was referring to as a purge was actually a deletion that goes on when you transfer the digital authority from one administration to another. And then it goes back up there. But by the time went out and the headline about the website purge, it was shared 50,000 times on Facebook. The MLK bust, how famous was that? The guy didn't see it. He went out and said it. Next thing you know, everybody's saying that Donald Trump is a racist. He got rid of the MLK bust as soon as he went in there. Betsy DeVos, everybody, she went out there and said, they asked her about guns in schools, and she went out and said, look, yeah, guns on campuses, I'm sure some do. Out in Alaska, I think it was, they have a fence around there, and I'm sure they got a gun there. And they put a fence out for the Grizzlies. I'm sure they got a gun in there. Next thing you know, you got CNN saying, citing Grizzlies education nominee, says states should determine if school gun policies are effective. Trump's education pick cites potential Grizzlies as a reason to have a gun. That was the BuzzFeed. Accurate? No. She just said it. Maybe they probably do have a gun because they got a fence for the Bears. How about the resignations at the State Department? Everybody's walking off. They're all upset with Trump. They're leaving. And same with the Border Patrol. Oh, they're walking off. No, what they didn't mention is what is traditional is you ask the people that are political appointees to resign. And that's what Trump did. Asked them to resign. They were essentially asked to leave. But that didn't stop them from getting something like on the Washington Post, Josh Rogan, when he published it, 60,000 shares on Facebook that they all left. They all resigned. They weren't happy. Think about it. Reuters had a account hoax following the Quebec City mortgage, the mass massacre. The Daily Beast published a story saying that two of the shooters had perpetrated the crime, that they were identified, and they went into this whole garbage. The little thing that they didn't know is the Daily Beast didn't check the source. They didn't check the source. And it was a parody. It was a Reuters parody account on Twitter. It wasn't even Reuters, but the Daily Beast ran it. There's a SCOTUS Twitter mistake. You got the big hands. You got the travel ban line. We all remember that with Fox, Philly, and Detroit. Basically, they went out there and said that this guy's Iraqi mother died because he couldn't come in with the ban. Lo and behold, they found out that it was a lie, and that the man had lied when his mother had died, and there was no connection. But that was too late because this had already been shared thousands, over 123,000 times. POTUS threatened to invade Mexico. That was a big lie. The White House later reaffirmed that Trump did not plan on invading Mexico. But it's too late. Yahoo News ran AP's post, shared it 17,000 times. The easing of Russian sanctions, another lie. It was just a technical fix, planned under the Obama administration. But correspondents at NBC News ran it, saying, oh God, they're going in there, they're going to ease all the Russian sanctions. How about renaming Black History? Because Trump wanted to call it National African American History Month. Everybody went crazy saying, oh my God, you can't. It's always been called National Black History Month. Every president's been doing that. One problem. Obama called it National African American History Month too. But by that time, the damage has been done. They all went out there and built this thing that what Trump was like. Gun control measures. The list goes on. There's more incidents happening for some reason. I'm watching here on another TV, Maxine Waters saying that Putin invaded North Korea. I mean, are you kidding me? He's not in North Korea. Or I think it was actually Korea. She didn't specify North or South. I think she meant Crimea. But there's more fake news right there. And it's growing larger and larger and shamefully. But what's going to happen? What's the answer? Do we let it go? Because that's what we're doing. The media hasn't stopped behaving recklessly. And we need to step up and demand they stop. And they brought this on themselves when they went out there and tried to say an alternative media was lying. And I've told you once, I've told you twice, I'll tell you 100 times. Alternative media is very thorough. They put all kinds of links, all kinds of Twitter feeds, everything that they're using. It's well documented because of major media has so much control over the people, the society, and they'll go in and say it's a lie. And they want to show, no, it's not a lie. It's very accurate what we're putting out. And there's actually two possible outcomes that come from this fake news crisis. Our media can do better, get better, which they need to do, or they can get worse. If they get better, we might actually see press begin to hold Trump administration accountable for his admitted faults, for the issues that are real. If they refuse, then we're going to start to see these issues, these a lot more outrage, a lot more lying, a lot more issues in the streets. Black Lives Matter came out of that whole Ferguson thing, which was a lie how it went down with that sweet little teddy bear Michael. It was a lie that it was exaggerated by the press. And no single person can fix this. It has to be a cultural change, a shifting of priorities industry-wide. Journalists, media types, reporters, people like myself, we have to fix these problems, or you're going to see this stuff go down in a flame. Think about it. This has been Francesco Abruzzino telling you who the real fake news is out there with the Uncensored Report.